Hi, this is Tracy with KOGmissions.com and welcome to Simple Bible Truth. I hope to encourage you in your faith and inspire you to seek truth, to love God, and to obey Jesus. It's a beautiful day out here in Minnesota, and so I thought I would take the opportunity just to share a few thoughts today on some simple Bible truths outside. And hopefully you can enjoy the day with me as well. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the mark of the beast. And most people, when you hear the mark of the beast, 666 comes up right away. We think, oh, they're going to mark you 666. Well, today, because of all of the new technology, people are talking about chips and getting a chip put into your hand or your forehead. And that may be. We don't know for sure what it will be. But the main thing is we need to know when this is happening, why it's happening, and so we can discern at the time that this really is the mark of the beast, because it has to be something that we are mindfully making a choice for, that we are giving our allegiance to the Antichrist, to this beast, and saying that we honor him basically as God at that point. It will be an economic thing, because it says you can't buy or sell or trade without having this mark, and so it will affect us. And we need to weigh it out. And there are 5 different sections in Scripture. I have them listed below that you can check out, that, or go to the blog. There's more written on it. But that talk about this mark of the beast. And the first part is when the Antichrist comes to power and the false prophet has an image, it says, which could be a statue. Today it could be an image on a screen, who knows, set up for the beast to be worshipped, and all people are going to have to bow and give their allegiance to him and acknowledge him as God. And at that time is when this mark is going to be set up, most likely, that you will need that to show your allegiance in order to live life, basically. And so the rest of those passages, what does it have to say about it? Well, those who take the mark, for 3.5 years, they're going to be able to buy food, go to the store, go shopping, live life, pay your bills, all the things that we're doing today. But at the end of that time, when God's wrath is poured out and the Great Tribulation is over, they will be affected by God's wrath, and it says they will have terrible sores. It'll be an awful time. People will be wanting to die, but they won't be dying. It's going to be just awful. But you had 3.5 years of going shopping. So if you like shopping and 3.5 years is worth it, take the mark. But those who refuse the mark, it says they'll be killed. They'll be beheaded. They won't be able to buy and sell. So the first problem will be that you'll be getting hungry. Your families won't have food. And, you know, people say, oh, you know, like me out here, I'd love to be self-sufficient, have my own food. Well, if you really think about it, they have drones. They can see everything. They'll come take your stuff from you. If you have stuff, the government can come take it. And if you don't think in America that they can, you'll find out that they can, and they will. And so if you don't take the mark, there are 3.5 years of tribulation for you, that you won't be able to buy things. Your kids might go hungry, you might starve to death, or you could be beheaded. And you will need to prove yourself to be faithful to Jesus. So if you don't take the mark, you are showing that you're faithful, because you are not acknowledging this person as God, because you know it isn't God, and you know it's not the Messiah, Jesus. Where again, if people think Jesus is God, it might be easier for them to accept this because they see it as one and the same. So if you don't take the mark of the beast, you won't be able to buy and sell. You might starve to death. You might be killed. Most likely you won't make it the 3.5 years. But even if you do, it's only 3.5 years, and you know that, and so you can look forward to the day that you will look up to the sky, like we see here, and just anticipate seeing Jesus coming. It says he will come on the clouds like he left. It will be like lightning. It'll be visible, and we will be resurrected if we're dead, and we will be made immortal. And if we're alive, we will be changed in an instant, and we will meet him in the sky, and we will continue down to the earth with him. And it tells us that when Jesus returns, that he will take the beast and the false prophet, so the Antichrist and the false prophet, and he will throw them into the lake of fire. So you have to weigh out your options. Is it worth giving up immortality to shop for 3.5 years, but then have that end bad too because of the wrath of God, which is going to be a lot more than the wrath of man, and not have that assurance? Yes, there will be some people who didn't die during the Great Tribulation and took the mark of the beast. They didn't die during God's wrath when it was poured out or when Jesus returned. And those people will be mortals that make it into the 1,000-year millennial government that Christ will be reigning over this earth. And we will be helping him, those who are faithful and who are resurrected and given immortality. But they will be having children, and there'll be children being born during that time too that need to hear the truth of the one true God and this kingdom hope of life in the age to come, which will go on beyond the 1,000 years as well. And God will even be present too. So in regards to the mark of the beast, I think it's important that we pass this information on, the Great Tribulation, the end times prophecy, onto the next generation, because if it doesn't happen in our time, it may happen in their time, and you will possibly be deceived. It says that so many people, even believers, will be deceived. And so we need to know these things, and we need to pass on these signs. Jesus said, I'm telling you this so that you will not be deceived. And so we need to know it, and we need to pass it on. And we need to look at this Great Tribulation and the mark of the beast through eyes that are wise and understand and have understanding about this, because we shouldn't fear it. Yes, we might die. We might get hungry. We might starve to death. There'll be family members that are turning you in. And the world has gone through some things like this in the past. And we look at them and think, how could that happen? But it is going to happen again. And so we need to be prepared for that, because if we're prepared and we know what might happen, we can stand firm then, and we can know that it will be short and that there is victory, that Jesus is coming, and we will be resurrected to immortality and not to die again, and not to suffer pain and agony like may have happened before that. I personally would think of giving up 3.5 years and maybe suffer and sacrifice and be martyred during that time is totally worth it, to have even just 1,000 years of governing this world with Jesus and helping to restore it to the way God intended. And so even if we do have to suffer and die because we won't take the mark of the beast and give the Antichrist allegiance, that it's worth it. And I hope that you will share this with other people and share it with the young people, because they need to be prepared if this happens. And if it doesn't happen in their lifetime, they need to be prepared to pass it on to the next generation, which unfortunately may be why there will be so few that will even stand firm, because there will be so few that actually hear and know the things and the signs of the times that were given to us, so that we can be prepared and not deceived. So thank you for joining me, and I encourage you to check out the blog that's in the link below. And please subscribe to our channel if you're not, like it, and leave a note. I would love to hear your thoughts on the mark of the beast, and continue to seek truth, to love God, and obey Jesus. Have a blessed day.